Greetings, Gunslinger Posse, and welcome to Branded for April 23rd, 2025. Brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. I'm Ralph Judkins, your host. Over there is the Randy Carroll, and sitting right to my right is the Jonathan Bane. Oh, I got the wrong one up here. So let's just skip on over to the first quarter and be done with all that. This is a show all about the San Antonio Gunslingers of the Indoor Football League. We welcome your comments. And anything else you want to say, go ahead and chime in on the chat, as Missions Highlighter has. Alex Schubert talking to us from Massachusetts, somewhere around Boston. Yes, we are very happy to be home on Saturday. Jay Washington is hanging out in our green room, and we'll bring him in. Well, why not right now? We're going to go ahead and bring Jay Washington to the stage. First part of our show is going to be all about, and it got all crowded here. Let's see if that'll work. I don't know. I got there's a way out that'll work. Jay, talk to us.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can, and we're live. And so, first quarter, we're just going to talk about our individual experiences. We're going to start with Randy Carroll. Your experiences going to Tulsa, and all about the trip to Tulsa and your time in Tulsa. And we're not going to sing Tulsa Time.
Well, first thing, we left early that morning to fly up to Tulsa. And my wife said, you know, you're going to throw on your jacket? I said, I'm going to need a jacket in Tulsa. And, of course, we got off the plane, and it was 50 degrees when we got off the plane. And she and I also said, I said, well, you know, I don't think it's going to be that cold. There's a little rain in the forecast. She goes, should I bring my rain jacket? We're not going to be outside. Well, all of those things proved a little bit off. Of course, we were cold when we got there. Then at the end of the game, it was pouring down rain, and we had to cross. We had to walk a long ways in the rain to get to the Uber. Let's put it that way. So that was my initial experience arriving in Tulsa.
Well, we took that long bus ride the night before, Thursday night, rode through the night, and kind of like y'all's experience, I didn't pack no jacket, anything like that. Just had my typical Texas clothing and then our game day stuff. And we get out of the bus to eat breakfast at about 8:30 in the morning. And it was cold. It was chilly. And like you said, it started raining and it was kind of muggy the whole time. And it was really dead. You know, the city or downtown Tulsa wasn't a whole lot going on. It kind of threw us off.
Let's just be honest. It was creepy.
It was a little creepy.
Yeah, Jay, didn't it feel awful lot like some kind of zombie movie? Because all you saw were street people moving and shuffling around kind of awkwardly downtown.
Yeah, like you rarely saw anybody driving, nobody walking.
Nobody.
felt real dead.
Yeah, we took the little scooters. They had all the scooters lined up outside our hotel. We thought we might just ride around and see downtown. And, man, there wasn't much. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it being Good Friday, everybody was home, or I don't know what was going on.
Well, that's the excuse we made up, too.
Yeah, I was wondering what all these big buildings and who was there to fill them, you know. So but then they showed us that they do have a population there, though, because, you know, later, you know, Saturday evening we got to see they had a really good turnout at the game. So
absolutely. Absolutely.
That was always fun to play in front of a crowd.
So I guess we'll go into game experience. We'll save Jonathan's experience for the second quarter. But Jay, go ahead and tell us. Jay came out there wearing his gunslinger apparel, swinging the big old cowbell. Show the big old cowbell, Jay, of the one very large cowbell right there. That is a very large cowbell. Do not adjust your screen. That is true to life size. Jay, tell us about your experiences. You said among the enemy, because you were sitting right to the one side of the bench, but among the Tulsaites, Oilerites, I don't know whatever you'd call them, and they didn't kill you.
Yeah, second row, not that far off from midfield. Definitely an experience. Got heckled probably just as bad as the Gunslingers players. But hey, I truly enjoyed it.
I don't know if I would want to get heckled or I don't know if I'd want to upset any of those Tulsa guys with a cowbell that big. Because I'm thinking, what if they get angry and want to do something with that cowbell? I'd rather have a smaller cowbell. But
Well, that cowbell, it has some weight to it.
It doubles as
I'm
doubles as a mace.
I'm not gonna say anything, but in self-defense,
He could use it for self-defense.
True. And that cowbell is loud too. I could hear it
Making some noise.
and that's the one good thing about this cowbell. It has like a real low tone. So if you go back and listen to it, you will hear there's the Tulsa cowbells, and then there's my cowbell. So it's very distinct.
It was good to see Gunslinger fans there.
For sure.
Walked in, saw the Palmers
Yep.
and the Woods. They were there, all decked out in the Gunslinger gear. And then I saw some other people wearing Gunslinger stuff. I wasn't sure who it was. It was Tyler Huddle's
family.
family, our kicker. And it was his mom and dad, his girlfriend, and some of their friends that had all had. I think they drove up from like McKinney or somewhere
Dallas area
to support him and support the team. And so I really enjoyed that. I went over and had a chance to visit with them and thank them for coming and being part of the game and cheering us on. And didn't feel quite as lonely as we did when we were in San Jose and in Phoenix.
Phoenix, right? Yeah.
Jason Wood chiming in saying everyone in Tulsa was very nice to us besides one drunk person. Well, there's always one drunk person at every game. Jay, I think I asked, I mean, how were you treated? Was anyone upset at your presence? Anyone challenge you to fisticuffs or any other nonsense or try to spill a beer on you? I mean, those beers were pretty darn expensive.
They were.
Yeah, what was the story on the price of beer? You had a comment on that.
Somebody had come to me and said, "Can you believe what the beer costs?" And it was like, it's either $23 or $28 for a beer. It was really expensive.
It was a large beer, but for that kind of money, you could, I don't know, have a dinner or something. Yeah, Jason Wood saying $23.
Okay.
Thank you, Jason. Alex Schuber saying one drunk person out of 14,000. No, that's just the one drunk person that was near. That was near Alec. That's a sample size, a very small sample size. Okay. Do you see the message on the screen here?
I see that. I'm trying to figure that one out.
Do you want me to put that up?
Sure. Everybody knows Sam.
Okay. We all know Sam.
Yeah.
And
Sam
says Coach Bane is a very busy man, but Ralph, can you ask me if you lost my number or call me back sometime?
I'll give you a call, Sam. I don't quite know what you're talking about, but I definitely will give you a call, brother. Hope all's well with you out there.
What you're saying is, Alex saying is, so you're saying it's cheaper for a ticket to the game than it is for beer. I don't know, because I haven't paid to go to any game for the last several years. For some reason, I don't know why that. Oh, it's because I'm a sportscaster.
And I got to say, coming in, they really treated us well. They invited my wife and I and my bonus son, Rendon, to go up to the owner's box if we wanted to. If y'all want to come up and have food and drink.
Yeah, they asked when I walked through the door, it's like, who are these people? And it's like, oh yeah, that's Randy Carroll, that's his wife, that's his son, and they give him the owner's box. So I told them that.
Well, they were very nice about that. I hope they weren't upset that we didn't go up there. I wanted to, because I want to stay down there with the team as close as I could and watch from there. I knew if I got up there, I'd start talking, and get distracted and not pay attention to, the whole reason I came was to watch the game.
Right.
Jay, anything else before we let you go?
Not much. All I will say is I am kind of glad. Like, I was on the side where I could look up and see the broadcast group and the Gunslingers flag. That was a beautiful sight to see.
Yeah, who brought that Gunslinger flag, Jay?
I wouldn't know.
Jay's being modest. Jay brought the flag. We taped it up right in front of our booth, and I know the players saw it. Our players saw it. Our coaches saw it, and it was a little next to the ring finger, letting them know that we were here, that it wasn't entirely an away game, that there were people that were rooting for it and cared about them. So All right. Well, thank you, Jay, for being on. I just, we wanted to talk the experience in Tulsa for everyone who's thinking about going. Okay, we'll just go around the room. Would recommend going to Tulsa on an away game since it is the closest, and you can actually drive there or fly there fairly cheap. Randy, would you recommend returning to Tulsa?
Absolutely, I recommend it. I do.
100%. From a viewership standpoint, they put on a show. It was awesome. Crowd was great. I got to tip my hat to them for what the show they put on this past Saturday and every home game. They've been known for that for the last couple of years to have a great turnout there.
And boy, did they, over 17,000. Jay, what'd you think?
1,000% recommend, especially when it comes to food.
Oh, you want to go into details on that? Because I think we found the best place for eats in all of Tulsa, and it wasn't some high frou-frou place either.
No, that's why when I heard $23 for a beer, I was like, I know where you can go for $23 and get some of the best chicken fried steak you'll probably ever eat.
Easy now. We're in Texas.
I know.
Don't compare no Oklahoma chicken fried steak to Texas because I'm
going
to have to name holding the wall joints back home.
Look, I completely understand, but man, it was real good.
Place is called Tally's. It's on the historic Route 66. It has the original 1950s appointments and so forth. And Randy, you're looking at me like you recognize that name, and you might, because I think it's famous, and it was really kind of cool.
Actually, I was thinking of another question I want to pose to Jonathan, because I want to know, is talking about the experience, how was our team treated by the opposing staff? Because I know we have gone into other places where, just to be honest, they shorted us on food and things like that. And were we cared for there better?
Yeah, it was good. Okay. No complaints there. I don't think any players complained. Good pregame meal, postgame pizza, typical stuff that you get. Pasta pregame, pizza that postgame, Papa John's at that, right? So not bad. No, it was good. No complaints with Tulsa.
Cool. That's all. I wanted to make sure I checked that out, because I know we've had experiences before.
Yeah, there's been
where we've not been treated as well, and I want to return the favor when they come to our building.
Well, that would be petty and small and very un-Christ-like.
Yes, it would be.
Okay, so as long as we acknowledge that. Jay, did you want to add any final thoughts? About the food, about our experience in Tulsa, the Tulsa airport, anything at all. Your drive up, your drive down, your driver. I don't know. I drove, Jay.
I was about to say, outside of coming back in the middle of a flood warning, I would say the entire trip was great.
Bless you.
Yeah, I came back from Tulsa with a little bit. Some of Tulsa still stayed with me. All right. Well, this is Jay Washington. Been with us, a super fan, wearing the shirt, and we will definitely see him at our next home game this Saturday coming up. Thanks for the time, Jay.
Hey, we really appreciate you, Jay. Thanks for pulling up for us this past weekend. It really meant a lot to the team. Absolutely. Just know that. We really appreciate all your support, brother.
We'll see y'all on Saturday.
All right, Jay.
Guns up.
All right. Well, now Jay Washington and the fan experience pretty much got us through the first quarter like I expected. Anything else we want to say here about that experience?
We want to go pay for commercials, or pay the bills for some commercials. That's what we want to do.
That's what we do. You're watching.
Get out of here.
You are watching Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. We'll be back for the second quarter in just a moment.
For generations, the family recipes at Carrabba's Italian Grill have been bringing people together. From the sweet smell of our scratch-made sauce to our rich layers of lasagna, we believe food made with love leads to tables filled with laughter. Dine with us or order out at Carrabba's.com.
This is what it's come back to, yeah. Trouble, trouble, under these neon lights. A drink and doubles, keep the change, hold the ice. I'm on that honky tonk high, dancing with the devil tonight. Holy, another and another and another and one more after that. Yeah, trouble, trouble. Under these neon lights.
All right, welcome back to the second quarter. If there was audio bleeding through, we'll get on that next time around. Thank you very much for the heads up. And now I guess we'll talk about the game. A little less fun. Yeah, it was a ghost town up there, but game started out looking like it was going to be a bit of a shootout because they won the toss, they deferred. We got right to business, 4 plays, and scored on a rushing touchdown by our quarterback. They got the ball, but they did it in 2, and 7-7. Next time we get down, we kind of stalled out and decided to take a field goal, and they went down in 3 plays and scored again. At that point, I was a little concerned. Should I have been concerned about how our defense was playing, or what was going through your mind and the team's mind on the bench?
You can't get concerned that early in the game. You know, it's indoor football. Points come in bunches, and they were just executing at first, and we were too. You know, we missed some opportunities out there, but I just, in my experience playing and being around this game, you don't ever really worry too much. Actually, my first ever arena game I've ever was a part of, we were down 21 points with 1:48 left, and we won the game. So do the math. It was crazy. Yep. So that right there was like an instant thrown into the, what arena football or indoor football is. And so, no, we kept our composure over there and just knew it's just all about execution. And when you get down like that, all you're, preaching the defense is get a stop, and you're preaching the offense, we got to score, because in no time, that could be flipped around. So, everybody was still on board and knew, we were still in that game.
And that was what the next two series where we didn't score on either 2 of those possessions and went down 2 possessions on 2 4th downs. There was some criticism, not from this quarter, that we should have continued to, on 4th down, kick field goals. You had a response for that, though.
I understand your frustration there if you're just a football fan in general, but in the indoor league, arena football, you can't really win games kicking field goals. Hence what he just said. They went, 4 straight drives with touchdowns. If we're taking 3 points in both of those, I understand, that is more points than what we would have had if we make the kick. But if they're scoring every drive and you're kicking field goals, you're giving yourself 0 chance to win the game, honestly. So right there, with the game plan we had going in and kind of having a beat on what they were doing, we thought we would be able to execute and convert on those 4th downs and at least give us a chance to, put 6 or 7 points on the board rather than the 3. So we do understand your frustration, but there is, a method to the madness, and we just didn't execute. And that's what it comes down to. And in this game is just executing when you get the opportunities. And we are working daily to try to get better at that. We know it is a concern, but, it's a long season. And but as far as the field goals, you can't really win these games kicking field goals. It's been proven since the game first originated. You do appreciate when you can kick them and make them, like Tyler did the first, second drive of the game, and he's been great for us. So he's done everything and more that we've asked of him. But whenever you're in a shootout type game, and early it looked kind of like we were getting into that. That's an explosive offense over there as well. We kind of want to go serve for serve with them, and if we convert both of those 4th downs and get touchdowns, everybody's happy, right?
Right.
So it's one of those you live with, you die with type things. So, we're going to work better at executing though and putting points on the board.
Agnes Huddle chiming in. Of course, he will make the kick. I appreciate that, Mom. But yep. I will say this: if we'd given the opportunity, the score at half would have still been 28-16.
True story.
And yeah, we'd have still been chasing the game, and
Yeah.
we were chasing the game the whole way. Let's see a couple questions that have come in. I guess we'll get into the second half in order to look at that. I'm working off my stat sheets that you're not going to see those too clearly that I do in game. But by the second half, I'd tapped out. My voice had failed me. You can still hear apologize. It ain't about me. It's really about the team. But that was the first time I've ever had to quit a broadcast in my entire career. And that was strange. Come back in the second half. They put together a nice little run. In fact, they scored on most of their possessions. They went 6 straight, 6 possessions, 6 scored before we got our first stop around the end of the third quarter. From that point, we got hung up on an interception and another turnover on downs. And then Clifton Duck just decides that he's going to rip the ball out of a guy's hands.
Heck of a play.
Yeah, and they started on their own 5-yard line after a great kickoff touchback. They ended up getting it on the 5, but then for the first play, Duck just rips it out of his hands and says, "No, I'll score." And it seemed like everyone was confused about how that happened. It was right in front of the bench, though.
Oh, yeah.
What did you see?
Just Duck being Duck, making a play, knowing we were struggling on offense. And, every time they went out there, we just told them, get a stop, get a stop, get a stop. And he got us our stop plus, 6 points. So you can't ask for more than that. And that's kind of what the defense has been doing for us this last couple of weeks is just, putting out the fire when our offense ain't executing. And, Duck, like I said, making a big time play right there for us and at least keeping us in it, right? It wasn't, stretched to finish there, but still, just the fact, and it shows who he is as a player, having the heart and still playing his butt off, that late in the game being down just speaks volume on him and the defense as a whole. So,
when we were down 3 turnovers, actually, we ended up giving up 4 turnovers in the game. Took back 2 of them with a turnover and down in that fumble. So I guess it was 5, but it doesn't really matter because it's after 24 hours. Did have a question before then. We saw a terrific run by Guy Myers, about a 34-yard run. Maybe it's 32. Don't really know. Mark Yamaguchi has a question he asked respectfully. Who made the decision to change quarterback? Whose call is that?
the coaching staff.
Okay, so that's a collective amongst the 3 of you.
Coaching staff, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, there's your answer, Mark. If there's a follow-on, and Kyle Lewis says, I did notice the guy had more rushing yards than both starting quarterback and running back, and I think most of that was on that one play.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, true enough. Let's see. There was another question further back related to that. If I can find it.
While you're looking at that question, I'll throw something out there that I need to understand as part of the rules and as part of still kind of a new guy to indoor football. Explain to me what the rules are around banking penalties. Are there only certain penalties that can be banked?
I don't want to butcher that, but I will say what I know. And banking a penalty is like a after the play foul, personal foul,
right,
extra point or
right,
2-point conversion.
Right.
It goes in the bank, and then you enforce it on the next kickoff.
Okay, it's immediate the next. You can't hold.
Oh,
it
no. Yeah,
when you want to.
Yeah, I heard a couple people ask that, and they're thinking like you can just redeem it, like play your wild card. If it's
right.
No, so it's that the next play. You know what I mean? And the only reason it's called banking is because it's just that certain part of the game where you're changing. You're bringing the kickoff, the field goal team off and putting the kickoff team on. So it's called banking it. You don't get to store it and keep it and play it, like a draw 4, but you do get it on that next kickoff or kickoff return.
There were commentators in another game recently that said as much, saying, wow, that'd be really neat if you could do that. And it's like, no, it's Randy, I'll explain it to you. I'll throw this one out as an analogy. It's not so much a bank, but it's a gift certificate that expires tomorrow. So, and you use that on an extra point. If you have a penalty going into the extra point, it doesn't make sense to enforce half the distance on an extra point. Now, if you had a penalty in an extra point, it does go half the distance, and that makes you reevaluate whether you want to go for 2 there or not. But if it was a penalty on the touchdown play, that's banked, and they carry that over on the ensuing kickoff.
A post play penalty, not like a holding
Right.
call
And-
on a
and-
touchdown, and then you're like, no, I want to save that holding call for
And,
no.
and we
it's-
had at least one or two of those. I
Mhm.
know because our kicking team and our coverage was great.
yeah,
You know, where we stop them down there, you know, 10 or 5 on the
Right.
10 or 5, and then boom, they pull out.
and that hurts, you know,
15
and
yards out of the bank.
that's what we were preaching to the guys. Just, you know, got to be disciplined out there, you know, because that does hurt us, because there's a huge difference in being backed up inside the 5 and then being on the 20, 25. You know, that changes everything from how they call plays, how they approach it. You know, when you're backed up like that, you're worried with the safety, a holding penalty in the end zones of safety, you know, all kinds of stuff. So you really kind of let them off the leash whenever you get those penalties like that. And on the flip side of things, you know, if you're the kicking team and you have a penalty in the bank, that's a good time to go for an onside kick. You know what I'm saying? Because you go for the onside kick, you don't get it, they still got to back up 15 yards. So now they're starting on the other side of the, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a free onside kick. If you get the ball back, you get the ball back. If not, they still back them up to where about the average return would be. So you'll kind of see that, and knowing that, you can kind of be looking for that now with the games, you know.
So most of the time, are you and Coach Fuller and Coach Johnson, are you guys generally almost always on the same page? Are they every now and then you know, you're like, no, I think we need to be.
No, we really are. I mean, it's a really cool relationship. You know, I've been around both of them guys for a long time, Fuller all the way back to 2014. And I told him if I'm ever doing something wrong, he's got to blame himself, because I've tried to learn everything I know from him. And I tease with him about that. But he's been awesome. And that's helped me, you know, and I've been able to see the game through him in a sense for the last 10 years and kind of know what he's expecting. And, you know, I'm constantly learning each and every day from both of them. And that's the really cool part about this. But we also are very open with, you know what I mean? They are not prideful in anything. If I have an idea and it makes sense, you know, that we're all for it. We kind of all help each other and make each other better, I think. And I think that's the secret to success, I guess, you know, and the more time we spend together and with the team, it's just going to continue, you know, to show. And so for the most part, though, yeah, we're all on the same page, and that makes it really cool, you know. And like I said, but also if somebody has an idea, it's not like they have to keep their mouth shut. You know, it's very open and a lot of respect for each other, because we know what kind of work we put into this, you know, all throughout the week. And but you do that to get on the same page, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of iron that stuff out throughout the week, and on game day, it just flows, you know.
And I think that that same thing kind of helps the team gel as well when you guys are gelling, because one of the things, my wife she's not as intimately connected and in coaches meetings like I sometimes
Right.
get to be, and so she was like, well, why did they do such and such, or why would they make that change, you know?
Right.
And I have to, you know, give her a kind of the inside view, and she's
Right.
like, oh yeah, now I see that. And I think how are and I think from outside looking in, our players have seemed to roll with the flow in a season where we've had injuries,
Yeah.
we've had some people that we've had to release, and they just seem to roll with it. You know, they haven't let that you know, mess with their minds too
Right.
much.
No, I would say they're handling it great, everything, you know. And in any football season, everybody's going to go through their struggles, and that's why, you know, when we talk to people, there's no excuses why we're 1-3. You know, it's never an excuse, but based on the circumstances we've been faced, you know, and part of, you know, making the moves that we've made is we want guys bought in, you know, and guys that are here and bought into the system and trust the system, trust the process, because we do have something really special going on. It just comes down to execution. You know, we're not executing right now, and it's not one single person. It's us collectively as a unit, not just the players, it's coaches as well. But I promise you, nobody's working harder than us to get this ship right. And I mean, we're a few plays away from being 3-1. You know, we're 1-3, a few plays away from being 3-1. And that's just football. It's indoor football in general, you know, and there's 16 of these things, you know, regular season. So we got 12 more to go regular season. So we're just taking it game by game, week by week, making the changes we feel are necessary. And like you mentioned, I feel all the players are on board, and they make sure to go out of their way to tell us, and not just tell us because you can say just about anything you want, but they show us daily, you know, up here at the crack of dawn, getting their work in, practice, giving us everything they got, to meetings, to doing their homework at home, and coming up with a positive attitude every day, because we're on a mission to get this thing right, and the goal is still the same: is to bring a championship back here to San Antonio. And nothing's changed there. No matter what our record is, no matter the circumstances, we got a really good thing going here.
We're going to go into the break here. When we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about just my looking at the road ahead and my thoughts on that, and kind of see what you think as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's the signal. We'll come back with the third quarter in just a moment. You are watching Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital.
All right, team, huddle up. Just like in surgery, we need precision and teamwork. Trust me, just like on the field, if we stick to the playbook, we'll achieve excellence.
Coach, are you sure about this?
We've trained for this. We're experts. The San Antonio Gunslingers and South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center, where precision meets performance.
Dependability. It's expected by our customers, and it's demanded by me. I personally guarantee the certified techs we send to your home and the equipment we install are dependable. John Wayne's American Pride comfort systems are designed specifically for San Antonio's extreme heat and humidity and come with a lifetime warranty. For comfort you can depend on, call John Wayne today.
John Wayne Service Company is a proud sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Sorry.
There we are.
Bit of a misnumbering here. Alamo City Media Group joining us here as we start the third quarter. Randy, you had some questions as we segged out there, talking about the road ahead, the rest of the season, those other 12 games.
Yeah, this is just me from a kind of the amateur fan, not super duper Mr. Football or anything. Looking at the road ahead, I feel like we've got a few games here where our schedule may be a little bit easier. And I don't know, I may be wrong on that, but that's what it looks like to me. And then it seems to get difficult again.
Well, we're now playing more Western Conference opponents. We're 1-1 in Western Conference. Lost one, won one, lost to the defending champs.
Right.
And then a team that was picked by everyone else to be pretty much up there as well in Bay Area. They were ranked 3 in coaches poll and coming in very high given their coaching staff, all 12 of them. And for us to go up there and get a win with just our 4-3, that was pretty impressive. And everyone was real high on Vegas at the start of the season based on who their quarterback was and who was returning. But they're right there with us. They're also the same. But Jonathan, you're actually the football expert here, sitting at the table. So your opinion has a lot more weight.
No, well, like you just said, the Western Conference, in my opinion, is by far the toughest out of the two. So we're kind of, as you see, they're all beating up on each other, right? So everybody, you know, other than Arizona at 3-0, I believe, in conference,
Right.
and then Bay Area at 2-1. Everybody else is 1-2, 1-1, 1-3. You know,
Right.
So that's just what you get in the West. I will say we can't overlook any game in this league in general. You got Vegas coming into town this week, you know, with the reigning MVP at quarterback. Got a talented roster. They made some great additions this year on both sides of the ball. So, you know, you don't want to overlook them. We definitely give them their respect, and we game plan no different than each and every week, though. We want to go out there and execute. Execute's always the model. But same with San Diego after that, I believe, is coming in after we play our doubleheader with the home and away with Vegas. And once again, very talented. Got a great quarterback over there in Nate Davis, who can really light you up if you're not ready. So, yeah, it's like I say, it's kind of a gauntlet. That's how Coach Fuller says it. You know, we wanted to go out there, of course, to Tulsa and get a win, bring us back to 500 for the year. We are 500 in conference, but for the year, and you know, get some momentum going into these. But you know, unfortunately, we didn't pull that one off, and we had to wash that one and move on to Vegas. But like I said, just a lot of respect for them guys coming down here. But it's also another great opportunity for us to right the ship and get back in the win column.
And I should have brought this up when we were talking about the last game, but I want to bring it up right now. Eric Rasco,
oh man,
the linebacker, that guy, that he saw his first action,
first game,
and I don't remember how he had like 9.
Yeah, I think he led both teams in tackle. Yeah, Eric Rasco, San Antonio native. I believe he went to
Warren
Judson and then graduated from Warren
High School. Yeah.
Y'all locals probably know all about him. He ended up, I think he won the MVP of that San Antonio All-Star game in high school.
Yeah.
He was telling us a story the other day, and you might not recognize him as the big middle linebacker, but he was actually a wide receiver back then, he told me. So heck of a talent. We found him last week out of Angelo State, two-time All-American, I believe. Great ball player, even better dude. You just, when you can stumble across guys like himself and have the opportunity to bring them in, he was a no-brainer, and he proved that on Saturday. Just the way he played, he flew around. You saw he opening kickoff for us, making the tackle. You know, Rasco, you wish you had a bunch more just like him, just because you know what he brings to the game. But he is a special player, great addition to the team, and we're looking forward to what he brings.
And I don't want to embarrass him, but he's 22 years old.
He's a baby,
and he has 2 master's degrees.
That speaks volume on who he is.
Mean,
like I said, this kid is special.
Had a
He's
plan.
a very, very special
Worked
dude.
the plan.
Yeah.
Got the plan done.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This guy has all the talent that I wish that I had back in the day.
Yeah, he's a special kid. So shout out to the Rasco family if they're watching. This guy is a very, very special dude.
We have 2 comments here. One from Mark Yamaguchi saying it's definitely not too late and headed to be coaches and players of the year if we can get her done. As a fan, I pledge to the entire Gunslinger Nation. I'll never stop believing in any of you. US. That's from Mark Yamaguchi.
Appreciate you, Mark.
Brian Jeffrey Barton says, needed to tune in tonight and say hi to Coach Bane. Great to see you in this new role. You asked me to send a scripture, Jeremiah 17:7. Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose trust is the Lord.
Amen.
Amen.
Hey, Brian, I appreciate you. So, Brian, we go all the way back to 2014, my first year ever playing with Coach Fuller down with the Richmond Raiders, or up with the Richmond Raiders. And special man, Brian, we appreciate you as always. Brian, to this day, still texts me before every game and has for the last 10 years in my playing days and now coaching. Very, very special man, and I appreciate you, Brian.
And Jay Washington brings up a very salient point. Getting to 500 will also make us 3-1 in conference.
There we go.
So that's how critical these next 2 games.
1-0 is all we're worried about. We want to get to 2-3 before we get to 3-3s. But I appreciate you, Jay. Yes, sir.
You know, you've played quarterback in the league. Talk a little bit about the pressure that may be more on the quarterback than any other player. Do you feel like there is?
I mean, yes and no. Just playing it my whole life, you kind of learn to embrace that early, so you don't really look at it that way. And I've heard this before, and I like to say it myself, though. Pressure is really a privilege because that means something's expected out of you. And you know,
Good
I've
way,
always,
good way.
you know, it's always kind of fueled me as having that what you call pressure.
Yeah.
It really was, and everybody's different, but I mean, there's a lot of tension on the quarterback, you know, and I preach to these guys daily and have since the day I got out here is not to take away from anything that every other player is doing or make the quarterback any higher, but it really this game on offense goes through the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You can have everything you want out there, and if we're not executing at a high level, you know, it usually shows. And it's a difficult position by all means. You know, I'm not going to sit here and downplay that. You got to prepare, and I'm telling the guys daily, it's all about the preparation Monday through Friday. That's the only way this game slows down on Saturday. And you know, we're working in different ways to try to slow this game down for these guys. But at the end of the day, as the quarterback, you just got to embrace that role. You know, you got to know everything that comes with it, the good, the bad, the ugly. And everybody on your team, everybody in your city, everybody in your organization is looking at you. And like I said, but since you were kids, this is pro ball. You know, since you were a kid, that's been your role. And you just got to embrace it. And so, I mean, I guess, yeah, to your yes and no to your question. But
okay. And speaking of the good, the bad, and the ugly, does a quarterback get better looking girls?
Oh, I got a beautiful fiance, so
he does.
I did. I
met
won,
her.
I won that one.
Well, then there you go. They answered the question right there.
Chris Weiss has a question that's super fan out of both Massachusetts and for Carolina, is asking the salient question: what is the current state of the QB room? I'm willing to take this if you don't want to at this moment, Jonathan.
I don't know what answer he's looking. We're looking for a quarterback to take over this team. We're looking for a guy day in and day out, Monday through Sunday to Sunday. Sorry, not Monday through Saturday, but Sunday to Sunday, in all aspects, from the way we prepare, from the way we execute, from the way we lead, every single thing that goes into being a quarterback. It's a lot bigger than throwing a pass, than running a run, than you know, just calling plays. You got to be the whole 9 yards to be successful at this position at the quarterback room. And you know, we are trying to get better each and every day as a unit. And we have a couple guys here in our, you know, possession, I guess, our facilities that are duking it out, trying to take over the starting job. And you know, that's just what it comes down to. I'm not, you know, going to go into it any deeper than that, but looking for a guy to rise to the occasion and you know, take the reins to this, because we got a really good thing going. We start executing on offense. Our defense is playing well. We're going to be a really, really tough out, and I think anybody in this league will tell you that. But hope that answers your question there, Chris.
And Chris, I'll add one word on top of it: accountability. That's it. Accountability.
That's it.
This is professional football. We do not go with sentiment. We go entirely on results. If you get the results, you get the job for one more week. Every day is an audition for tomorrow. Every day is an audition to keep the job. No one has anything locked in. It'd be nice if we had everybody we ever needed always here on day one. They wouldn't have any difficulty making choices at camp. They wouldn't have any difficulty making choices after game one. It is about accountability, and these coaches here are going to put together the best team they can to get a win this Saturday and every game going forward. Have no doubt of that. If anyone stumbles, anyone fails, and they can't be fixed, they're gone. And just watch the transaction section of the IFL site, and you'll see we're not sitting around wondering. We're making moves if we got to make moves. Or at least that's the impression I get.
No, it's pro ball. You know, there's no, it's not any, you know, pointing the blame just at the quarterback. But like we just talked about this whole quarter is, you know, it's a very important position. And we go as the quarterback goes on offense. So like I said, there's a lot more to it than just than most people think. You know, we're grading each and every day. This is a very fair, very, very, very fair opportunity for our quarterbacks, and we're just looking for somebody to take over, right, and take that role on.
And knowing that you just came, I mean, literally, you were playing and now you're coaching. Fresh. I enjoyed watching you from that position, because I know it's almost come out of your mouth. Put me in, coach. Put me in. I can tell you can, because you're looking down the field. You're seeing what's going on from those quarterback eyes that you have. And when somebody misses something or they get it, you're right there with them, and I can tell you want to be
I
playing.
love it, man. I miss it. This is the most beautiful game on earth, the ultimate team sport. I was far from perfect at quarterback. I worked my ass off to try to do as best as I could, but I will tell you, it is a special game, and I try to preach that to the guys every day, is just take advantage of every opportunity, and because it is special, and we do have a shelf life, and this is all, the playing days are over at some point. But that's another part of the motivation to try to tell these guys, take control of this thing. It's here for the taking. It's a beautiful game, and whenever everything's executing at a high level, it's fun as crap to watch, and it's fun to be a part of. So
I just gotta say, Jonathan, you sound like Coach Prime. Well, coming back after the break, we're gonna give you the real coach. We're gonna help you.
We're gonna bling him up.
Like,
we're gonna bling him up.
We're gonna bling you
let's
up.
do it.
All right, that'll end it for the third quarter. You're watching Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. I hope you're all enjoying this as much as we are doing it. We'll be back in just a moment.
We all need hot water. Some of us need more than others. So it's a good thing that State has a wide range of tough commercial-grade water heaters for your home. From standard models to high-efficiency and tankless models, we've got you covered, no matter where you live, what you do, or who started it. To install a State water heater in your home,
Call John Wayne today or visit us at johnwayne.com.
Welcome to the Vegas.
Must be that time of the year again when we work hard. And we play.
Come try Matanga's, voted best pizza in San Antonio. We are family and deeply invested in our community. After this game, come find a Matanga's near you. Guns up, slices up.
Welcome to South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center. Step into our operating rooms, where highly skilled surgeons work hand in hand with specialized technicians. Our dedicated team has extensive experience and expertise in spine and surgical procedures. Our commitment to patient safety is unwavering. We understand that your well-being is at the heart of everything we do. South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center, where expertise, longevity, and state-of-the-art technology come together for your health.
And welcome back for the fourth quarter of Branded, as we talk about future events now. Future events being the next game coming up. And
you notice we got Coach Prime over here blinged out.
Yes, sir.
And we are gonna have these for sale at the game this Saturday. If you've been wanting to show some gunslinger pride and bling it out
obnoxious
a little bit,
gunslinger pride.
I don't know what you call these chains, but I see people wearing them everywhere.
Fan chains?
It's like a turnover chain, right? Have you ever seen that in a game, like where
college,
where somebody will get an interception or something, come over to the sideline, and they give them a chain around their neck?
There you go.
That's what I'd call it. It's pretty sweet, pretty high quality, right? Chain's kind of heavy.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff. So
says
get them while the getting's good.
Okay, Mark's chiming in. Randy Elvis wrote a song called "Don't Be Cruel, So Be Gentle with Our Coach Bane."
Gentle about what?
I'm not sure what that has to do with Elvis or Jonathan.
Yeah, you ain't gotta be gentle with me.
Yeah. He's about as tough.
Rockstar chains. There we go, Jordan. Rockstar chains, baby.
Okay, Rockstar chains. That'll work.
Whatever y'all want to call it.
Yeah.
Get one.
Yeah, that's at our Fiesta
Rockstar
game.
chains, April.
Yeah.
Well, if they're saying it,
that's what it is. That's what, I don't care what
it's good as
else
gold.
calls
It's a Rockstar chain.
It's a Rockstar chain. That's what we're going to call it going forward.
Appreciate y'all. Yeah,
that's it.
So now we go from calling you Coach Prime to Jelly Roll or Post Malone or something.
Right.
No, Bane is a dang good rock and roll
Is that
band.
cool? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool. I got my
Bane,
rock
yeah.
star
Called
chain.
Nemesis Bane.
Uh-oh.
Jonathan Nemesis Bane.
Yeah, Saturday's game is our
Yeah.
Fiesta game.
Fiesta.
And so we
It's
will
always
have
fun.
those for sale. First 1,500 fans through the door is going to get our Fiesta medal, the new Fiesta medal
Those are
for this year. We have got our new
Oh yeah, wait
I'll
till
have
y'all
to
see
hold that
this.
up. Hold that over
Yeah,
in
this is
front
our
of Jonathan.
new
Yeah,
Fiesta jersey.
Yeah.
yeah. Let's check out that
Thing
back.
out.
Look at the details here, people.
Yeah, this thing is
Fans,
awesome.
check it out.
Says Pistoleros. down
Hold
there at
on,
the
hold on,
bottom.
hold on. Check out the sleeve here. Hold on. Let's get a good look. Can we see that?
Yeah,
Looky there.
yeah.
I mean, that's some sweet stuff.
Yep, you can purchase these. The fan zone over there, and the merch table is going to be packed out.
Weston's
those.
waiting for you to pull up. Weston's going to be waiting on you. Shout out to Jordan on the design. I mean, those things are sweet. So you might want to get your hands on those before they're gone. A lot of real cool detail to those.
We'll have some mariachis.
Yes,
There.
from my high school, I do believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they are from Judson. I didn't get
Okay.
confirmation on that, but that was the same group fans. If you were there last year, they did the national anthem and performed in front of or before the folklorio dancers that
Nice.
came out. So
It's going to be a big night.
Jay Washington says, "There goes more of my money."
Money well spent, Jay.
Yes, yes, sir.
Money well spent.
Jordan is notorious for influencing people's bank's account in the wrong direction, but you always get quality stuff. April says,
Absolutely.
yes, she was able to book the Judson Mariachis. They recently won a whole bunch of things at UIL. I can't
Sweet.
name them all, but individual performances and as an ensemble. And they're going to come in and rock the place.
Yeah, Fiesta officially kicks off
Same
in San
dancers as
Antonio.
well.
Fiesta officially kicks off in San Antonio on tomorrow night
Tomorrow night.
with Fiesta downtown. I think it's starting around 4:00. So
Who don't like a good fiesta?
mhm.
Right. Jonathan.
I'll be taking.
Who's this
Pops,
Randy
that's the
Brain?
legend right there. That is a Texas Hall of Fame rodeo guy right there. That's Randy Bane. That's my dad. Bull
Ah.
rider. Catfish king.
There you go.
He is a catfish guide. If y'all want a good experience catfishing here in Texas, holler at my dad.
And he has a great first name.
Yes, he
I
does.
just
Randy
wanna
Bane.
say,
Yeah. Camo Catton. Look him up. Randy Bane. That's the man right there. Sorry, before the break. It sounded like you might be
Mark
planning to roast
saying, sorry, before the break, it sounded like you might be planning to roast Coast Bane.
Oh, no,
we'd have to barbecue him if we did
That's all right.
anything.
roast.
Hey, it would
I'm
be,
ready
it would
for it
be,
all, Mark.
It would be disrespectful.
I've probably heard worse.
It would be disrespectful to stick him inside an oven. He would have to be on a pit, on a spit.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah. You would.
Randy Bane.
Oh shoot!
Was that bad? Was that a bad joke?
I caught it. Yeah,
Well,
you're saying
my
roast,
God.
and you're saying
what we
barbecue.
need on your little gadgets over there is rim shot.
Yeah, the one thing.
Funny
yeah,
you should
something
mention
little.
that. Yeah. Yeah, never mind.
Or else I'll have to just go.
I hate to say it, but I think one of these is that. Nah, we're not going to hear it.
Okay.
It's not there. Never mind. We try too hard. We try here too hard. All right. So we're looking into this game.
Mhm.
Any thoughts? I mean, this is Vegas.
Mhm.
Actually, you said Vegas and San Diego. Yep. Neither Vegas nor San Diego has ever come to San Antonio and played. But last year we went to their place for both the games, the two times we played them, early season games. Now they're going to come here. What advantage does a home game give a home team? And how can we tell our fans to maximize that?
First and foremost, home game advantages is kind of the leading up to the game, right? The preparation, the sleep, the not having to travel, because sometimes that can be a mess. Anybody that travels knows in the airports and such how crazy it gets, and and get off your feet, get to sleep in your own bed, and kind of stay in your routine that you're used to. But second is the crowd, right? Like playing in a different atmosphere. Ain't no better football than Texas football. So same with the fans. Just ask that everybody come out, tell your friends, tell your cousins, brothers, aunts, uncles, everybody just mention the Gunslingers game and try to get them out there, because once they see it, they fall in love. I've yet to really meet a fan that's just said this, this just ain't it. That sucked. So get them out there, and we'd appreciate it. You know, we appreciate the ones that are already there, and you know, and our guys do feed off that energy, you know, and being loud when they're on offense and that kind of stuff. So there are benefits, right? You know, and we want to show them what Texas football is all about. And this great city of San Antonio, I know they love them some football and they love them some winners. So, you know, we got to start winning, but come on out there and support us. We're really looking forward to it. And I promise you, we're going to get this thing turned around.
The question that I get asked the most since I've become involved is, Randy, what made you want to become part owner of the San Antonio Gunslingers? And my answer always is, all you have to do is come see a game, and you will know why.
Yeah,
that's why. And then they come to a game and they go, I get it now.
Right.
I get it now. I know why you wanted to be involved in this.
It's a lot of fun. And if you ain't been to a San Antonio game, I mean, just the show that our, you know, front office puts on, big shout out to them from everybody. I mean, there's too many to name. Well, actually, it's a smaller group to put on such a perfect show. But I mean, just from top to bottom, everybody bought in, you know, and have so much passion and pride in this, and are so excited to put on a show for you, you know, and you know, they deserve it all to have a packed out house. That's from the players to the ownership to everybody involved in this thing. And they really do. And if you've ever been to any other indoor arena game, you'll see that it's the real deal here in San Antonio. And first things first is it's going to be a show, and you're going to be excited to be there. It's constant, you know, entertainment from the field, the play, and also the different things that they have going on, you know, on breaks and everything that they do, and all the stuff we put up on the board. And it's just a really cool show.
Jay Washington had a comment that I think both y'all would be interested in, and we should look at from a marketing perspective. A fan in Tulsa quipped, "This game is too fun to miss out on," or "This game is too fun to miss out."
Yeah.
That just sounds like a great slogan for presenting this, because it is a lot of fun. That you really, 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 really want to come out and see this for yourself. Once you've seen it, it's a great, if you have clients that you want to entertain, we have suites and packages for that. Jonathan's the guy to call for that.
Come holler at me.
And you know, it's great fun. It's great fun. You can bring out the whole family. Merch out at $100. I mean, parking's still what, $10?
$10.
And you know, seats start at
$15.
Yeah, $15. And
ain't a bad seat in the house either at the Freeman Coliseum. I promise you.
You know, talking about all members of the family, I brought my granddaughter, who's 7 years old, to that first home game, and I was convincing her to come because of the cheerleaders.
Right.
But she loved everything about it, not just the cheerleaders. I mean, because there's something happening constantly. You don't get bored.
Yeah, this is the ADHD game.
Yeah,
definitely the ADHD experience. Modern generation.
Oh my God.
Fast, fierce, fun.
That's why.
Yeah,
That's why.
Yeah.
Mr. Attention Deficit Disorder.
Yeah, it never ever
That's
ends.
why I love it. No.
Unlike the show, which we could end right about now. If we had anything else we wanted to add,
any questions,
shout out you wanted to do.
Shout out to the fans. Shout out to Gunslinger Nation, all those that are still on board and have been supporting us since day one. We appreciate you, and just know we're excited to get this thing rolling back on track this coming Saturday, and look forward to seeing everybody out there. And your support is really appreciated, and come show up and show out, as somebody mentioned on the comments.
Yep.
All I got to say is guns up, baby.
That's all there is to say.
All right.
Yeah.
This will wrap up our show for the 23rd of April, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. Make sure you've done all those social media things you're supposed to do, because it helps the brand. And as always, folks, keep your guns up.
Guns up, baby.
Good night, everybody.